What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the South Side Kōrero. I just want to give out a warning for this episode because this episode is quite real. And what I mean real is it's a very raw and very emotional episode. So there is a mental health trigger warning as well as a swearing warning. A lot of swearing is being used in this episode. I do want to stress this out. If you're in need of someone, please reach out to the appropriate channels that are there for you to reach out to. So with that said, I had an amazing talk with my good friend Tai Tupou. He is part of a awesome organization called the Last Chance Project. They basically help out those who are giving patience to those that smile, but their hearts are broken. So it's a good organization. I'm slowly learning about them and the good work that is out there. So if you're going to give a look out to them, have a look at their Instagram with their brilliant page from Tai. Like I said, this conversation is quite raw. No, it is raw, and it hits home for me. It's a demon that I battle, and we all battle every day. It's our inner demons, it's our inner critic, and hopefully, with the message that's been produced, that raw message, that you will be able to find something that will correlate with you. So, with that said, once again, trigger warning of mental health as well as swearing as well. And once again, I hope you enjoy this episode.
Soifua Maua, Malangi Mama. My name's Tai Tupou, one of the founders of the Last Chance Project. I've been involved in mental health for well over 10 years now, and it's a huge honour and privilege to be here and obviously serve our community and our beautiful nation of Aotearoa. So yeah, man.
Thank you for that introduction, and thank you for starting off that conversation raw, because I tend to forget that our guest has a lot to share, and we always start off with like a rolling start is what we call our starts. And rolling starts mean that we get into the conversation without even just thinking about a topic or a question, and that's how we roll with this podcast. But when I think about with rolling starts, that's not how our lives are, in terms of we can just wake up in the morning, we could just go straight into it. It's how we always have that inner critic. It's like, what do we do from here? We were talking to a guest by the name of Mikhail Munipola, who he was talking about how he lives his life, which is like he lives by just doing it. He just does what he needs to do without planning it. And I know a lot of our young people are still trying to do that part, just trying to do it. For you, how were you able to slowly get that mindset of just getting that critic to come out, and how you work with it is what I'm trying to say.
Man, it's still an ongoing battle, every day. For me, like, I guess I've gotten myself to a level now where, I like to operate at a pretty optimum level. And what I mean by that is, like, my day starts every morning at 4:20 when my alarm goes off. And that's my first battle, is, do I get out of bed when this thing goes off, or do I stay in bed? And 9 times out of 10, I get out of bed, and I go about my business. And because I know if I don't get up at that time, I've already lost that battle immediately, because my inner critic's telling me, man, you've only had 4 hours sleep, go back to bed, man. Like, what are you thinking? It's all good, man, don't worry about it. You'll be fine if you just go back to sleep, and but I won't be okay. you know, and I have a routine, you know, so I get up, I give thanks, I go to the gym. I'm normally at the gym by 5 a.m. every morning, but it's that drive from home to the gym where I practice a lot of, gratitude, I'm talking to the man above, because, man, we all got insecurities. We all got, things that we're carrying, we're all taking L's, in life, and, we're taking L's that people don't know about. And I guess it's that 10, 15 minutes driving to the gym and then getting to the gym and I'm there on my own, is an opportunity for me to, amongst all the bullshit that's going on, I don't know if you can swear on your podcast, but amongst all the BS that's going on, you can pick out something that maybe that you can actually be grateful for, that you're positive and that makes you want to breathe. And I know it's hard, man, because I remember back in the days, when I used to hear people say, "Oh, just be positive, man," and I'll be like, "But I don't want to be effing positive, I want to smash someone or, I want to do something, but it's being able to gravitate to something, even if it feels so tiny, to kind of hang on to and run with it. Yeah. And so I always say to people, I do my best work from 5 a.m. till about 2 or 3 o'clock. After 3, I start derailing and I start heading down hills. So, but yeah, man, it's routine, and routine is everything. Honestly, man, if you don't have one, you should get one. For whoever's out there listening and watching, honestly, routine is everything. And for some people, they get up at 7 and they do whatever. For some people, I don't know, man, but whatever it is for you, you just got to do what works for you and continuously show up for you first. Because if you don't, that's where things just go downhill.
Yeah. And just going back to, you were told to be positive. I was told that when I was in high school. And I was the most nicest person to come around, you're just "Oh, hey Vince, hey, what's up?" And then, I didn't take care of that mental well-being, and I didn't, like you said, routine should be a nice tool for you to get used to it. It got to the point where I had that nice routine. So I call it the nice routine because I was nice to everyone, and everyone who would come up to me would be nice, or they would be like, "Oh, fuck you, Vince." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, no worries, bro, no worries. Sorry about that." It got to the point where I snapped. I snapped at one point. I snapped him around with my friends, punched a window, and then I didn't realize that I punched this window until 2 hours after class, where I'm sitting with the vice principal and the caretaker going, "Yeah, you punched this window. How are we going to pay for it?" And the groundskeeper goes, "Oh, he's a good fella. Well, we'll pay for it." So. And then I got into the routine of I need to do something else. How do you, because as a person let's pretend that I'm a person who's not, they're starting from ground zero. How do you build that routine up? Because how we are lost in our own minds.
Man, you got to fall over, man. It's, I say to people most days that if you're not failing, man, you absolutely can't succeed, and that's what I mean by we're always taking L's, but the thing is it's what you do with those, that determines, I guess, the progression from there. For me, everything that I'm about is because of everything that I went through, and even today, me and Will were just talking out there, about everything's content, man. And you just don't realize it. It's part of the story, it's part of the journey. And to say that 10 years ago, where my story was to where it is today, it's completely different, man. But the thing is, I know in myself that there's certain things, if I don't do it and if I don't activate these things, then I'm already on a hiding to nothing, So it's like, I guess I just got myself into this dangerous mindset now of like, man, if I go and it doesn't work, all good. Like, I'm not going to die, if it doesn't work out. But it's just like, I'll rather give it everything I got, and, whether it's relationally or professionally or whatever, man, like, like I'm talking to people most days that don't want to be here anymore, so I need to be sitting across from them, giving them everything that I've got, and it's not that I'm not there to save you, I'm not there to fix you, but I'm going to show up for you and I'm going to show you, man, like, I freaking got your back. Like, fucking never met you before. I don't know what you've done, but I promise you, if you want to go to here, like, I'm your guy. But if you want to stay there and, have a little pity party, like, constantly and things like that, like, I can't help you. But if you honestly want to get better and you want to push through, you got to be willing to take on these hours and you got to fail, man. It's, we've created this thing in society where, we, I guess, paint this perfect image all the time. It doesn't work that way.
No, definitely. It's not always. I always like the saying. It isn't always sunshines and rainbows. It isn't always the soft landing that you're always going to get. Every time when you fall, you're going to hit hard. And I always wanted to ask this question to someone, because as a person who always comes up the word failure. What does failure look like to you?
Man, it comes in so many different forms, like there's simple things of like people not backing your stuff, not believing in it, not having your back. There's so many different ways, man, that I could explain that. But for me, it's like, if I can't do it this way, then there must be another way. If this guy can't back me, then maybe it's someone else. It's just like, it's understanding that. And I'm not saying that, like, I'm positive 24/7. Like, that's impossible. The reality is, it's like, man, the one thing I know about mental health and mental well-being, it's like, if someone's in a shit mood, you can't just tell them, oh man, just think positive, bro, you'll be all good. It doesn't work that way. For me, it's like understanding myself and like, man, if I'm pissed off, I'm pissed off. Like, don't get in my way, because you might get hurt, and it's just like, I need to go here. I might need to sleep, because I'm probably tired. There's so many inner critic conversations going on in my head, and I need to just put it to bed. So it's all those little things, man. And honestly, like, and I know for dudes, man, like, it's we go internally a lot, and it's because I guess a lot of us have grown up in this culture where you only speak when you're spoken to. So we're conditioned to only talk when someone's asked. But if no one freaking asks, then we're fucked. So it's like, in our minds, it's like, fuck, does anyone even care? And it's like, is it me or is it them? Or, and then your inner critic's just going again. And it's like, yeah, it is you. Like, yeah, you're a dick, or you're this, or you're that. Oh, you shouldn't have said that, or you shouldn't have done this. And that's what's happened. And for me, it's like, the only way I can break those cycles is that, like, I get paid to be real. So it's a 24/7 gig for me. So, man, if shit's going down in my relationship and people ask about it, I'm gonna tell them. I'm obviously not going to tell them everything, but the reality is like, how can I set someone else free of their relationship battles if I can't even talk about mine? You know, like, who am I to come here talk to someone about mental health if I haven't been through anything? You know, so my CV to the world is always like, here's my shit. Like, you know, if you got anything, like, you know, up to you. Like, I'm not making you share it. It's on you.
Yeah. And that's the thing when it comes to sharing and it depends on the situation, is they share what they can, and then it depends on how much they're comfortable with. With that said, and let's put it in a scenario where I'm now coming up to you and go, hey bro, I'm done having this moment of self-doubt. I want to break out. What is it? What can we do together that we can start working to start making these baby steps to making these changes?
Yep. Honestly, man, it's the secret to getting people to share is you got to throw your own shit on the table. You know, for me, it's I can only tell you from my experience of my self-doubts, you know, and I have self-doubts all the time. You know, like, I started an organization and I didn't even know how it was all going to play out, you know, and I'm like anyone, you know, I come under attack all the time because we're in a society where, you know, when you start doing well, people don't like it, you know, and people want you to do well, but like not this well. They want you to do like only this well, like kind of well, you know, not too well, you know, and that's just the world we live in, man. And, you know, I'm constantly like doubting myself all the time, you know, on some of the moves I make, some of the decisions I make that could obviously impact things at home, you know, because at the end of the day, like for me, I spend a lot of time out in the field, you know, that there's obviously always going to be, you know, it's offsetting somewhere else. So it's, you know, in terms of your question of self-doubt, man, it's like, again, it goes back to that whole thing of like, if you don't do it, then it continues. And the only way to break these patterns is to kind of push through. And sometimes you just got to be aggressive, you know, with that inner critic and just be like, sweet, you're telling me no, sweet, I'll just do it anyway. Like, sweet, if you're telling me I'm going to fail in it, sweet, I might as well find out for myself. You know, it's just, you're always going to come across doubt, you know, whether it's internally or externally. And for me, like, you know, I always hear people saying, I just want to prove them wrong. I just want to prove this person wrong. Man, just prove yourself right, because the idea came to you for a reason. So just run with it. Like, it wouldn't have been planted in your heart and in your mind if your heart and mind didn't believe you could actually achieve it, you know. And it's just like, at the end of the day, we just got to get up every day and prove ourselves right, you know, because we were right all along. If we get it wrong, there's just another way of doing it.
And I just, it's like, I'm just sitting here thinking about it because I'm still at step one. I feel like I'm still at step one I don't know if our listeners are still in step one, but for those who you know, they're in that circle, still step one. Who can you reach out to? Who were the people that you reached out to when you were in that step one?
Honestly, man, like the honest truth is, I didn't have many people I could reach out to, you know. And the reality is we don't reach out at all. And, you know, if I was to come here and say, you know, I reached out and encouraging people to reach out, like it's absolutely bullshit, man. You know, we don't reach out. I guess the thing that I started understanding and realizing was that if I'm not doing it, imagine who else isn't doing it. So maybe I should check in on people so that maybe when I fall over, potentially they'll check in on me. You know, like, we see it in society all the time, bro. Like, we see like people log off social media for a while, You know, it's like, oh, something's going on here. You know, it's like we see the signs all the time, but like we just kick back and we're like, oh, he's going to reach out when he's ready. What if he doesn't make it, man? You know, like we got to check in, man, because if we're not checking in, then, you know, we can't be standing there like down the track being like, fuck, man, if he just reached out to me, man, like, nah, man, it doesn't work that way. You know, like the perfect example this morning, like, man, I finished the gym, man. Like, I had a kind of shit day yesterday. And, you know, I got up this morning and I was nearly like going to give in to the inner critic and not go this morning to the gym, man. But I went, you know, because I thought to myself, man, if I don't go, I'm going to have another shit day. I don't want another shit day. So anyways, I'm cruising back from the gym and, you know, I'm on my phone at the lights because, you know, it's illegal to use your phone while you're driving. And, yeah, man, and I got this message from one of the boys and he just goes, man, I was listening to this podcast this morning and it said something about, what did it say? It said, don't make permanent decisions for temporary, like, circumstance. And I was just like, what the F? Where did that come from? Because that was exactly where I was yesterday, you know, trying to make these decisions based on a temporary circumstance. Like, I just had a bad day, but I was trying to throw it all in because I just had a bad day, you know. And I guess it's just that, man, that, you know, I checked in on this guy for so long just because, you know, I love and care about him. And then on the one day that, you know, I'm like, fuck, man, what's the point? Yeah. I just get this message, you know, and but that's what I mean. It's like, people don't reach out, man, you know, so we just got to drive that checking in, you know, mentality. Because the more we do that, the more we show up for our people, our own, honestly, man, if they know you that well, they'll pull up and you won't even have to say a word. You know, that's how it works.
I have a brother by the name of Aaron Taofu. He was when I was in high school, I was a senior, he was my junior. But I see him as like we're both equal age. He's my brother. I see him, I talk to him all the time. It got to the point like 3 to 4 years ago, I went down this dark hole and then the bro just went, hey, bro, are you all right? And I didn't text him back. And then all of a sudden, about like 2 days later, I hear a knock on my door and he comes in and he goes, bro, you're a dick, you didn't even text me back. And I'm like, oh, sorry, bro. You know, he goes, nothing, bro. He pulls me, hugs me, and it's just like, in my mind, I was like, he's arguing me. Yeah. I don't know what to think. Yeah. And then now I'm doing this often where we're just checking up on each other. So we haven't talked to like in years now, like about a year now. And I'm texting him going, hey, bro, you all right? You know, I haven't heard from you. Yeah. So that, hearing that from you, you know, it hits home because I'm texting people now. Yeah. Just want to make sure that they're okay. Yeah.
And bro, that's the most powerful thing you can do is check in on people, you know, because at the end of the day, like, I'd rather check in on my people and make sure they're good than, you know, something happens and, you know, I could have done something about it, you know, and that's exactly what it's all about, man, you know, because we're always waiting for this miracle to happen, you know, of, you know, someone reaching out. Man, there's plenty of proof out there that it just doesn't happen.
No, absolutely. Again, I'm going to talk about my mentor, Will. Yeah. You know, he's a good fella, always checking up on me, you know. Despite the little spat that we have, like, oh, bro, you know, you don't answer my text. So I still have that habit, but I'm still rewiring that, still learning, okay, it's okay to text back, then I'm okay. Yeah. And I want I want our viewers to learn that it's okay to text back or text to someone that it's okay, you know? And it's even like, it's even better to go, I'm not okay. Because that's even better. Because that level of understanding is a feeling not many people can tap in. Because it's so hard to, especially as males, that we're not allowed to show that feeling. Because we're supposed to be like, yo, we are, man. We are. But we're not. We're not. How do we break, and this is the $1 million question for me. How do you break that image of men can't share their feelings? How do we break that image so that others can go, that's so true?
Man, it goes back to exactly what we were talking about before, where if you and I aren't sharing our shit, what makes us think that we can request that of someone else? You know, it's the secret that no one knows about, which is right in front of you. You know, like I can sit in front of anyone, including people I've never met before, and pull out everything that they've potentially been holding on to for like years. Why? What's so special about me? Absolutely nothing. All it is like I said to you before, man, I'm just real. Like if someone asks me how my day is and it's shit, I'm going to tell them, bro, I'm having a shit day. You know, this is going on, this is going on, this is going on. How's your day? You know, but you think about society, 80% of the time, we're all just pretending. You know, perfect example, how you doing? Yeah, I'm good, man. How are you? Cool. The conversation dies. There's nothing now because we're both pretending that we're good when we can obviously feel that we're not freaking good, you know? So, and then secondly, it's communication, man. Communication is everything. When it comes to communication, if you think about it, it's probably the most important thing in life, because if I don't know what's going on with you, I don't know. You know, until you tell me, I won't know. So the reasons why things break down, relationships, anything, it all comes back to communication. Like, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. You know, and it's understanding that, you know what, shit, I might have got that wrong. Hey, I'm sorry, man, I shouldn't have said that. You know, like, I might have taken the mocking a bit too far. You know, I just want to let you know that I'm sorry. You know, and that, because, man, we don't know. You know, so it's like, we got to learn to pull ourselves up. But also, man, hey, like, what you said, that kind of peed me off. But maybe I heard it wrong. You know, so it's just, again, it's just being honest. It's open communication. And then that also shuts down the inner critic, because then you go home and you're pissed off now. And the other person that said whatever they said to you, they're having a laugh. And maybe they didn't even know that they offended you. Yeah. You know? So it's like, it's all communication, man, at the end of the day. And I didn't learn how to fully communicate until probably my mid to late 20s. So I spent probably the first 20-something years of my life trying to figure it all out. And so now it's, for me, it's like, you know, talking to young guys like you about the importance of that, because, man, if you could advance yourself now, way faster than, like, you know, we did, man, you guys will change mental health forever, man. And that's the honest truth. So going back to your question, like, of how we can change things for good for men, it's just that, man, just being real. You know, because honestly, man, like, everywhere I go, there's not many real people out here, man. You know,
and that's a commodity that a lot of people don't get, and I feel that with our viewers and listeners, that's why we have these sort of conversations, because the word real becomes so muddled. Sometimes you can have a conversation that's quote unquote real, but when you come back to the core, you're servicing those who are listening to it. The words have to feel real. The actions of that person need to feel real. And like you said earlier, you have to share yourself out there. If that person, and I like to use this analogy, and I use it all the time with like when I'm talking about real, is the wrestling term used in Japan is that if they don't feel then the crowd won't feel it. That should be something that should be shared with especially with mental health, is that if you're sharing your experiences, then they should be real ones. And it should be real enough that that person who's feeling that emotion should feel it out there.
That's awesome, man.
Thank you so much, my friend. Is there a quote that you have that you want to share that's been in your back of your head that you like to say, to share with our viewers?
Man, like there's so many that come to mind, and probably the most important one that I live by the most is the standard you walk past is the standard you accept. And if you break that down, it's if you're walking past someone that's struggling and you do nothing, then you've allowed that. So the standard you walk past is the standard you accept. And I think as a Samoan, it's something that we hold to a high regard in our culture. You see someone not doing well, you give whatever you can, and if it means that you go home and you don't eat, then so be it. Tomorrow I'll probably get to eat again. This person, who knows? So yeah.
Thank you so much, my brother.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. You're welcome, man.
And once again, thank you so much for watching this episode. I normally end it off with, I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to end it off with, I hope you learned something today. And I hope you carry something with your heart. And I hope you get up. So, thank you.